Hello Perfumistas, it's Jasper Buckingham here again for top10fragrances.com, and this week we're talking about the wonderful product that is Weekend by Parfums de Nicolai. Beautifully crafted bottles again, I have to say. This is 100 milliliter. You can see the intricate details here. There's a sort of small wax, what do you call them? Wax seal on the bottle with some ribbons, and it's just very, very beautifully made. 100 milliliter bottle with beautiful packaging as well. They also do a 30 milliliter bottle, which is ideal for your briefcase or your handbag if you're a lady. And there's also a 250 milliliter bottle, which is completely refillable. This is another toilette, which is perfect as well, because it's actually quite a powerful little number. Little bit of history on Parfums de Nicolai and Patricia Nicolai herself, and she was raised in Paris's 17th arrondissement in a house with 4 generations of the Guerlain family. So I guess she was always destined to become a nose. In 1988, she was the first woman in history to be awarded by the Société Française de Perfume the Prix International, so that's quite an accolade. And she's had various jobs, including big companies like Fluorescent and Quest International. And in 1989, she took the bold step with her husband, Jean-Louis, to found Parfums de Nicolai. Her personal style is paramount in all of her creations, with a preference to white flowers and amber notes, a style that you can clearly see and clearly smell in all of her products. It is also characterized by her rich palette of natural essences. So what does this little number smell like? Well, you're talking about top notes that are very, very green again, things like galbanum, tarragon, basil and peppermint, which is very interesting because you get an initial explosion of that, but it mellows down to almost a floral note, with strong tones of lily of the valley, of which we know, or if you know the perfume world, you can't extract any natural essences from, as legislation limits that. So it's a very difficult one to get around, but she's done that really well. And she's also used things like jasmine, rose, yang liang. They also sort of sustain that lily of the valley essence into in the perfume. Base notes, you're talking about things like cedarwood, musks, and also a touch of leather there, which is a nod to the sort of Norman stud farms. There's also helianal and cologne, which are recent essences discovered, which give a real kind of hint of sea air and almost a beach-like smell. You can smell almost things like seashells and sand. So it's very, very cleverly mixed together, this. The nose for the fragrance was again Patricia Nicolai. Olfactory family is floral and green. It was launched in 2001 as a unisex fragrance, and it's perfect in the summer, I would say. Quite sweet, slightly floral, also quite dry as well. It will be a great holiday scent. If you're one of those sort of people who likes to take a scent on holiday with you, which reminds you of that particular holiday, especially if you're going to a beach-like resort, this would be absolutely ideal. If you're into signature fragrances, this would be ideal as one of those as well. Not that it's my cup of tea, but some people like signature fragrances, and I think this would be perfect for that. So, even though it's been reformulated, everybody's saying that this new version of Weekend is better than the original Weekend à Deauville, simply because the original had a lot of spices that have been toned down very nicely, and more floral and fruit notes have been added, so it gives it a fresher, cleaner smell, I think. So to recap on everything, you're talking about a very sophisticated scent, particularly well bred, a bit like the people who frequent places like Deauville in Normandy, and it's certainly a confident perfume for a confident perfume wearer. Where to buy it? Well, Parfums de Nicolai direct, you can get it from those guys. Parfums MDP, we spoke about those last week, very competitive on price and delivery times, and also in the United States you're talking about companies like Lucky Scent. So that's it. Weekend in Deauville, a fantastic fragrance, very, very clean, very fresh, slightly sweet and slightly warm, and I'll see you next week when we talk about our next fragrance.